What's up, everybody? It's your favorite podcast, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Train, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. For starters, happy belated Valentine's Day and happy President's Day. Again, I told you guys, ladies and gentlemen, last week, it was Valentine's Day, so I hope you guys got something for somebody. And, for the President's Day, again, yes, it's a shout out for everybody. We just ushered in a new one. So, shout outs to Biden. President Biden. POTUS, as some call them. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started right on into the show. So, for Monday, we have as follows. The 76ers versus the Jazz. Now, these are the top two teams in the league. Yes, I said the league. They have the highest record amongst the East and the West, and they're going head to head. So I am thoroughly going to enjoy this. Donovan Mitchell, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Rudy Gobert. Should be a fun time. Now, on Tuesday, we have the Nuggets versus the Celtics. This is Jason Tatum versus Nikola Jokic. These are two young, talented teams who are actually going to make it to the playoffs for quite a bit of time. And also, not to mention, Jason Tatum just came off of a bad game against the Wizards. So is he going to rebound? I'm looking forward for that. Now, on Thursday, we have the Nets versus the Lakers. KD versus Braun, yeah. Maybe Anthony Davis doesn't play because of that whole Achilles injury, but still, it should be a fun one. We're expecting the Lakers and the Nets to hit the finals. At least some people are. So I think that's a good one to see. And then also, on Saturday, we have the Warriors versus the Hornets. This one's easy. The number 2 versus the number 3 pick. That's right. We have James Wiseman versus LaMelo Ball. They'll go head to head. So I think that'll be a good time to watch as well. And then on Sunday, we have the Nets versus the Clippers. This is easy. KD versus Kawhi. Two juggernauts in the game, solid small forwards. And to be honest with you, I think there's a little bit of history now because Kawhi did get the best of KD even though KD was injured. So I think KD wants to prove that he's still better than Kawhi easily. And we know this, but you still got to prove it, right? And then this is also a finals possibility as well. So again, those are my games of the weeks. And I hope you all stay tuned. No disrespect to the other teams that are playing, but these seem to have the best storylines going forward. Motivational Monday, ladies and gentlemen. I hope it's a good one. I got a good one for y'all. As I stated earlier, the Washington Wizards did beat the Celtics. That's right. So I want to give my quick shout out, Russell Westbrook. And his quote is as follows. Every day when I get on the floor, I give it my all and play because you never know what tomorrow holds. Now, Russ ain't been playing well, and we've seen that this year. He doesn't shoot the ball as well as we want him to, and that's been a problem over his career. But at least he tries to get his teammates involved, and that I'll give him credit for that still. His assists have been still productive this year. He just hasn't been healthy. There have been COVID issues, whatever the case may be. But he still needs to develop that jumper. That's important. That's you can't change that. Like, that has to occur. But until that actually does occur, I want to see him involve his teammates even more so. You got to get their confidence up because that's how the Wizards are actually going to play well. I thought they were going to be a playoff team because Bradley Beal's at the helm and they have a bunch of people who can support his production as well as play at least some defense. So, again, shout outs to Russ. I understand it's been a little troubling time. You've been changing teams, seasons. I understand that. But, I'm pretty sure he'll figure out at some point. But I don't think he needs to score as much. Just get everyone else involved. Make sure you're getting everyone else involved and getting those touches up. And he has shown that. And his last game against the Celtics, it was pretty good, even though he didn't score his ball as well as he could have. At least shots efficiently. So that's all. All right, so part 1, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to y'all about Paige Buford and Ozzy Fudd. These two chicks are dominant. Like, they are hoopers, boy. Like, when I tell you they could be the next Diana Taurasi and Maya Moore, I literally do mean that. Both of them are 5'11". Okay, both go like Paige and Ozzy are both 5'11". Now, Diana Taurasi and Maya Moore are 6 feet and 6'1" respectively. The reason why this is so big of like a comparison is because who these guards are. First, they both, meaning Diana and Maya, they both went to UConn, same as Ozzy and Paige. And on top of that, they're both quality hoopers. Like, their games mirror both, or Paige's and Ozzy's games actually mirror Diana and Maya's. Now, let's take a look at Paige's, for example, right? As you can see on the screen, we got a couple clips for y'all. Now, they are both scoring clutch guards, meaning Diana Taurasi and Paige, because that's the comparison for this time, right? So they're both clutch scoring guards. They're both clutch scoring guards. We all know that, DT's clutch from the clips that you've seen, right? But Paige is also clutch as well, and it's pretty early on in her college career. I mean, she just hit a couple of big winning shots against Tennessee and South Carolina, who, mind you, was the former #1 team. And and UConn was #2. So we had that clutch gene going on. She's also not intimidated, because even at the high school days, she dropped 33 points, knowing that Karl Anthony Towns was in attendance. And yes, I know some people don't view Kat that highly. I do. I have him as a nice tier talent. And for you to be able to know that any NBA players on your court and in high school, and you drop 33, oh, you're not scared too much. Like, you're ready for the big lights. You're ready for the big names. Then when we look at Ozzy Fudd and Maya Moore, let's take a look at the clips again. We have, two big forwards, who can actually shoot the ball, who can score pretty well, who can rebound pretty decently, who can block. Like, you have an all-around quality forward. So when I look at Ozzy Fudd, like, let's take a look at their stats, for example, right? In 2019, because she's had a knee injury, or she had an ACL and MCL injury, along with Maya Moore, even though it was an MCL and ACL, was a knee, she had knee issues, but there's still that injury to go along. That's slightly similar. Then you have in high school, where they were averaging 26 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocks for Ozzy Fudd. And Maya Moore averaged 19 points, 9 rebounds, and she was getting 4 steals. So I couldn't find all the assists, meaning all the records, meaning the assists and stuff for Maya Moore. It was a long time ago, but still, you see that the games are similar, the statistics are relatively similar, and the only reason why the points per game are up is probably because we're taking more shots nowadays. It might be a little faster play, because even on the UConn side, when we have Diana Taurasi and Paige, her freshman year is averaging 20 points a game. DT was averaging 10, but DT took what, 483 field goal attempts? 286 field goal attempts to 233 for Paige. So right now, and Paige has a few more games to play. So there are more games being played. You know what I'm saying? Probably not going to average as much. But if you took the points per game and put it towards how many games Diana Taurasi played already, they're closer in points per game. So the stats are actually relatively similar. Their games are relatively similar. That makes me believe that both Paige and Ozzy are going to be similar to Diana Taurasi and Maya Moore. That gives me comfort, personally. Now, will they reach the accomplishments that those two players did? Time will tell, because there's a lot that goes into that. But in terms of the type of player, I think we're seeing the next two right here. And it's beautiful because they're going to be on the same team come next year for the next 3 years. So we'll potentially get to see Diana Taurasi and Maya Moore in UConn yet again, at least style of play. I know they're different players, though. I don't want to make it seem like they're replicas, like Paige and Ozzy are different people. And then when they get to the league, oh my gosh, bro, we get to see them go up against Sabrina Ionescu, who I kind of view as a Sue Bird. So, and it's funny because Sue Bird actually played with Diana Taurasi in college. And then Maya Moore comes on later on. But this time it's Sabrina's already, in this time it'll be Sue Bird's moved on because Sabrina is Sue Bird. And then Diana Taurasi and Maya Moore would be playing and coming in. So I want to see how this looks in the WNBA as well. Just so many storylines to come from this. So many, because we're hitting WNBA, college, and high school right now. It's going to be stunning. We might be talking about the back-to-back #1 picks. Just saying. So please, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to these next two ladies, because they're going to be huge. Trust. I put everything I know and love on it. I promise you. Barring injury, of course. Barring injury. All right, so we got start, bench, and cut, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is. Who are you going to start? Who you going to bench? And who you going to cut? We love everybody. No disrespect. No disrespect. But you can't keep everybody, unfortunately. So with that being said, as you can see up on the screen, we have as follows: Lauren Jackson, Tamika Catchings, and Maya Moore. You know I had to bring up Maya Moore because I was talking about it. Now, let's go ahead and get saucy and start it up right. So with that being said, we have Lauren Jackson. Now for a career, she put up 19 points, 8 rebounds, 1.4 assists. She's also a 3-time MVP, 7-time All-Star. The girl's quality, top quality, okay? Then we have Tamika Catchings. What can we say? 16 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. And she's the MVP, 10-time All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year multiple times. I think about 4 if I'm not mistaken. You know, like what can we do? And then Maya Moore, the lovely Maya Moore, recently engaged again, or recently wedded, you know, shout out to you. But she threw up 18 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, MVP, 6-time All-Star. You know, she would have been more All-Star if she didn't leave the game. And I can't fault her for leaving the game the way she did. But like I said, you can only keep 2. You can start 1, bench 1, and cut 1. And I gotta start Tamika Catchings. I have to, because she gives you the versatility. She gives you with the elite offense. She hits you with the playmaking. She gets you on the defensive end. Like she hits all check boxes, So for me, it has to go to Tamika Catchings. And I might even be a little bit biased because you know we share the same birthday, baby. Tamika, you know what I'm saying? I'll see you for the birthday. Anyways. Then next, I gotta go bench for Lauren Jackson. Because if you look at Lauren's game, she reminds me so much of Elena Deladon. I'm sorry, Elena Deladon reminds me so much of Lauren Jackson. She's a big forward, skilled forward. She can drive, hit you on the post. She can drive a little bit, hit you on the post, like take you outside for the 3. Like that's type of stuff you want to see. And adding in the defensive expertise that she added too. Oh, dude, I have to add her. I have to. Because not only did she do this, but both her and Tamika Catchings lasted a little bit longer than Maya Moore. I hate that I'm using that as a reason why I have to cut Maya. Because Maya was actually a really great player. Like, she could have gone down as one of the best if she didn't end it early. So that's the main reason why I'm doing this. Okay? It hurts me. I would love to keep all 3 if I could. Trust me, I really do. Like, I really do. But I have to cut Maya. I'm sorry. Like, I love the game. I love the play. We've already shown you clips before. I'm gonna show you some. I'm showing you more obviously right now, but gotta cut her. So again, no disrespect to anybody at all. All of them are great players. All of them should be Hall of Famers. And like I said, you can't keep all 3. Wacky Wednesday, wacky. Hey, I might have to keep that low key. It's being consistent. I can't think of anything else right now. So you know, we might have to have it stick at this point. If I do a next episode, just know we're doing that for a little bit. Anyways, Family Matters. The show with Steve Urkel. Did I do that? Like that. Family Matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, hi, big guy. Like that. You know, Steve Urkel. He was hoping. Did you know that? Like, my man could have actually got an NBA contract. So could have a lot of these actors really should have got a lot of contracts, bro, based on the play that they did in the TV shows. Let's take a look at the quick tape, shall we? Let's take a look at the quick tape.
Well, men, we made a valiant effort, but it looks like Willow Glen has found our 1 weak spot.
What's that, Coach?
Basketball. We only have 4 players who aren't injured, so I'll tell the ref we're throwing in the towel.
Wait, Coach, put me in.
What? Have you been sniffing liniment?
So, as you can see, he's getting berated by his coach. And for starters, let's point out the fact my man got on the Charlotte Hornets track outfit and come out looking like he's starting off for UNLV. Like, stop. Come on, bro. Can we make this a little bit more consistent, please? Oh my gosh, wardrobes, please. Like, let's get that consistent. Then his coach is trying to forfeit the game initially opposed to finishing the game with Urkel. Like, that's so disrespectful. And I would fire the coach immediately. That's blasphemous. Let's get back to the show. Now, as you can see, this man starts boogieing. First, he gets a steal, then ends up at the half-court line where he throws the ball between the defender's legs, lands in traffic at the right wing, then hits the Jordan double between the legs and attacks the paint. Follows that up with a scoop shot on the ball, with the ball on the right-hand side, with the defender coming to the block it on the left-hand side. I don't know about y'all, but the whole sequence to me, it just seemed like it was an ESPN top 10 play to me, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm being too nice. Let's cut back to the scene though, shall we? Then, one of the meanest blocks I've seen happens. And a quick outlet to Urkel and a near scoop layup slash, I don't know what you want to call that, from the mid-range. Kind of unnecessary, but it is what it is. And it was on a fast break. Again, kind of unnecessary, but it is what it is. Nothing but net. That's why I say it is what it is. Making the score 66-48. 6 minutes, 50 seconds left in the fourth. I gotta say, one, we already know what's gonna happen. But two, the fact that there's that much time left and that score difference, and we know what's going to happen, lets you know how impactful Steve Urkel really was. Now let's get back to the tape, because I'm sure y'all want to see the highlights. I'm not going to show you the whole game. Highlights. Anyways, back to the show. Now 3 minutes, down 10, defensive rebound by Urkel's team, and they head down the court. Urkel hits Buddy with the between the legs spin move, looking like Eddie from Tekken, and then hits his teammate for the alley-oop again. Another top 10 play. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, these are quality moves, bro. Like, Kyrie might have actually stolen the spin move. I've seen that happen a couple times. Let's cut back to the show, shall we? Then we get another steal. Defensive player of the year. And then, did you notice the around the world that Urkel did before he did the layup? Granted, he missed the move. He missed the layup, so, you know, $1 million move, 10-cent finish. But still, his teammate was able to recover it. I appreciate you. And then they make another steal, so he makes up for the missed layup. And then a behind the back look, no look pass to the cutting wing for an easy 2. Ooh, filet. Hey, these boys is out here hooping. I'm telling you. Urkel's out there doing his thing, bro. Let's cut back to the show, man. I want to see what happens to the rest of it. You know what happens, but you want to see what happens, right? So while you see some terrible defense, that team just, you know, choke. It is what it is. Nice little defensive rebound. Get the ball to Urkel. And you see here, Urkel has a nice little one-on-one situation. He fakes the drive, even though the defender oversold the drive. Can we take a pause real quick? Poor acting and poor defense. Like, bro, it wasn't that tough of a drive for you to like back that like that. Like, they should have retook that, but you know it is what it is. I wasn't shooting the shot. Let's go back though, because as you can see, there's so much space. Now Urkel has to look and see, what am I about to do? There's 3 seconds left. Should I pass the ball? Should we call timeout? You don't do anything but let that bad boy fly, and he does. And as you can see in the show, the crowd goes crazy. The game's over. The shot drops. Urkel's the man. He doesn't get the girl still. Steve, you were right. Anything's possible. When you marry me, accept that. But it's okay, though. It's okay, because you want to know why? At the end of the series, he does get the girl. So, you know, nerds do end up winning all around. And they usually do. Nerds usually do. You know what I'm saying? Like, Urkel, Dexter from the laboratory. All right, let's move on. All right, so my next topic I want to talk to y'all about the NBA G League. I think it's actually been producing pretty well. Like, I watched a couple of the games so far. It's been entertaining. It's actually been entertaining. And I want to highlight 2 players in particular because this is going to be addressing for the years to come. So Jalen Green and Jonathan Kuminga, they are actually playing on the same team, and they've been playing pretty well. Now, with that being said, as you can see, let's take a quick look at a couple highlights, and let's just see how well they've been doing. Because initially, Jalen didn't have a good first game. It was okay. It was okay. But he didn't have a good first game. And then Jonathan actually surprised me. I saw a lot of playmaking. I saw some quality rebounding. He seemed like he could score the ball pretty well. And then in the second game is really where Jalen actually took off. You saw a little bit of the athleticism in the first game, but you saw a lot more dunking. You saw a lot more tenacity, ferociousness. He was attacking. He was kind of taunting the defenders, which I actually love to see, especially since that he's such a young player and he's going up against older players. You want to see that because he's going to face older players in the league. So if they are dominating in this league or at least showing potential, well, you know what? That might actually help out because now they're also going to be more prepared for the NBA season. I do expect them to be two quality candidates for the Rookie of the Years next year because they're going to be more experienced. Look, for example, look at the examples such as Luka Doncic, LaMelo Ball. Both of those players were actually seasons because they took their talents over to the professional side before they came to the NBA. That's what Jalen Green and Jonathan Kuminga are doing right now. So I expect us to see these two players be the Rookies of the Year, at least my leading candidates right now. Like maybe you could throw Cade in there, and maybe it's also based on like situation too, but these would be my leading candidates going into next year. And then also, when you factor in the fact that they have players such as Jarrett Jack mentoring them, like, do you know who Jarrett Jack actually is? He's a quality player who's played in the NBA, and he's still playing, showing that he has good skill sets. He was a decent leader in the NBA as well too. He also played for the Warriors. So I mean, like, he has a good body of work in terms of resume, NBA resume, and I actually do respect my man. So, and you can't respect everybody too, but Jarrett Jack actually seemed like a decent player. So when you have someone like that mentoring you, I really do admire the G League format now. Like that really is helpful because now let's say, for example, you get G League players who are coming from the NBA or going into the NBA and they're coming back down. Like, you don't always stick in the NBA. So that means that talent is also going to be pushing along the younger players. So it's going to make them even better. And then you also get to see players like Dennis Smith Jr., for example, who wanted to go to the G League to get some more playing time because he was at the end of the bench on the Knicks. You get to go up against players like that. So it's really a good system, and I want to see more of it too. Because like I said, I watched the games and they weren't bad. And you can play them early on in the day. So I'm looking forward to the G League. And I think you should actually watch it too. Because again, seeing top tier talent or seeing talent that wants to get back into the NBA or maybe younger talent that just got drafted into the NBA, you're getting to see these players. So now, later on, these could help form up some type of duos or trios later on down the road. If we're talking about these young stars, young potential stars, I could see Jonathan Kuminga and Jalen Green trying to play with one another, especially if they have a lot of success right now. They'll be trusting one another. So again, or it could form some rivalries. Either way, great system so far by the G League. I appreciate it, and I'm looking more forward to see it. I think you should too. All right, now we got a quick throwback, and as I said earlier, you know the Nets are playing the Lakers on Thursday, so I have to talk about KD versus Braun. I thought it was only fair, thought it was only right, and I wanted to talk about their first matchup actually, because it's pretty decent. Like early on, I hate the fact that people try to bring up their overall record when Braun's played on better teams for the longer time. Okay, like until he actually went to the Warriors, meaning KD, Braun had been on the better team. You could make an argument when he went to the Thunder for like maybe 2 seasons, they were comparable. But after that, it's like, okay, like they were a little bit outmatched. Then finally they clicked together, but then they lose Harden. You know, it's like it's a lot. It's like, you know, like Braun's been on the better team, champ. I'm sorry, like there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's not an excuse. That's just stating facts. So I hate the fact they bring up the overall record when they don't want to talk about the stats that both of them put up, which are actually quite comparable. Like KD wins the scoring, Braun wins not by a lot, but he still wins on the rebounding. He gets them on the assists. I'll give him that. He gets them on the steals a little bit too, and then KD wins on the blocks. So I mean, it's kind of comparable, because again, the rebounding is not that far of a gap, and neither is the steals really. The blocks are actually pretty decent of a GAB. So let's not sit up here and make it seem like Kevin Durant hasn't always been close with Braun like that. Like, I've looked at them as rivals for a long time. Long time. Two transcendent talents early in the career too? Why not? Why not? Now, let's look at the rosters that some of them had, shall we? Let's look at some of the rosters. Now, as you can see on the screen, as follows. For Cleveland, they boasted players like Boobie Gibson, Larry Hughes, Drew Gooden, Shannon Brown. I get you. Probably didn't score that much, but, you know, it is what it is. They also had Ben Wallace, Delonte West. Like, they had some quality players, Big Z out there, you know, so they had some pretty quality players on the team. For a team, again, this was a playoff caliber squad. Now, let's look at the Seattle Supersonics, who, again, let me remind you, they drafted Russell Westbrook the very next year, fourth. So that tells you what type of team they had. As you can see on the screen, Kevin Durant was obviously up there. Then you also had Nick Collison, you had Earl Watson, you know, you had Chris Wilcox, you had Wally Zerbiak, you had a young Jeff Green. Like, yeah, you had Delonte West up here too, but like, Delonte West was a nice role player. But even all the role players that they had on this team don't amount to the other role players that they had on the Cavs. Okay? Like, the team was just flat out better, and it got better every season for the Cavs. It was better than the Seattle Supersonics. So you're going to expect to see KD versus Braun, and Braun win. And I hate that, because then what I hate the most is then people renege on their position and say, oh, well, I'm not going to take Kevin Durant winning on the Warriors because he had the better team. Braun had the better team for the majority of their career. The majority of their career. Why are we not bringing that up? I hate that. I hate that so much, people. Like, it was ridiculous. So that I wanted to bring that up because now we get to see, I think, two even teams, defending champs versus a team who literally just got pieced together and are trying to still figure it out. It's fair. I don't want to hear any excuses on whoever wins or loses. It should be, if they meet up, there are no excuses. Just like there are no excuses, and they'll play probably comparable as they always have. But I think as of late, like, you know, KD will have a chance to usurp Braun, especially in this current situation. But that's my personal opinion. I know some people might have a little bit of a different take. I don't have Braun viewed that highly as the best like that. That's just me, though. That's another story for another day. So I'm not hating either. Stating facts. All right, so a flashback Friday. I wanted to take it to Reggie Miller because he actually scored 8 points in 8.9 seconds. I'm so sorry, Reggie. That was disrespectful. my bad, champ. My bad. That's like a regular player at that point. Oh, actually, yeah, it could be a regular player. All right, anyways, let's get back on point. So Reggie Miller, 8.9 seconds. 8 points. Let's take a look and see what happens, shall we? So, as you can see, first Reggie makes a three. So we kind of cheat the system a little bit. But, you know, from the point where he shot the three and made it, that's where they're counting, okay? So we have a made three. You're thinking, okay, they're down 5. It's 8.9 seconds left. You should win the game. Or even if you're going to get fouled, you know what I'm saying? Like, all you gotta do is just inbound the ball. And they can't inbound the ball. They can't inbound the ball. Then Reggie Miller gets the ball again, backs it up to the three-point line, shoots the ball, and makes it. Wow. Wow, so now it's a 2-point game. Okay. All you have to do is inbound the ball and make some free throws, which John Starks does not do at all. Like, he misses both of them. Oh, my God, John, what are you doing? Joking. Like, oh my gosh, buddy. Then, not only do you guys miss 2 free throws, and Patrick Ewing also gets another chance at the shot, but Reggie Miller gets the ball and y'all foul. You foul. Why? And then Reggie shows you, I'm going to make these 2 free throws and go home. And then told y'all in the interview, John Starks choked. Like, listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, wild. So again, I just want to give a quick flashback to a great moment, because I think that actually put Reggie Miller on the map. You scoring 8 points in 8.9 seconds, that's a historic feat. I don't think it's going to be hard to accomplish. Like, a lot has to go right for you to do that again. I'm just saying, people. So that for me put him on the map, along with the Jordan stuff, of course. But like, that definitely, like, I feel like I talk about the 8.9 thing more than him facing Jordan. Just saying. That's me. All right, so the last segment I want to talk to y'all about the AllStar Reserves. Let's take a look at the All-Stars. But before that, I just want to give a quick little. It doesn't take. I'm not talking about everything that I think about for the All-Stars, but just 3 quick things, right? So as you can see on the screen, it goes as follows. I need you to get at least 20 points a game, or attribute it other ways, other games. So either 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Maybe you're the defensive guru, something like that. You have to be elite or great at something. So that has to happen regardless. Then you also got to be respected amongst your peers. Like, you have to be a pretty decent player. Like, you can't just be some scrub or not even a system like player, because if you go to a different system, you might not be that great. Like, you have to be an all-star. Finally, you have to be no worse than the second option unless you're on a big 3, because then you exclude people like Chris Bosh, Klay Thompson. They were well deserved for those roles. So unless you're on a big 3, you have to be no less than the second option, or else I don't even want to count you, because I don't know what to tell you. Like, maybe the Hawks team makes an anomaly, but I didn't think they were all-stars. They had a good year, and I thought there could have been other players to put ahead of them. That's my personal opinion. No disrespect to them, even though I did a post about them. So with that being said, let's talk about the Eastern All-Stars that I think should make it. Now, as you can see up on the screen, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo. I understand, former Defensive Player of the Year and back-to-back MVP, not even starting. It's whatever. Domantas Sabonis, Jaylen Brown, Zach LaVine, Trae Young, and here's the thing: Ben Simmons or Julius Randle, I'm on the fence about. I don't know, because Ben, I think he's a great defensive player, but Julius has actually been well-rounded this year. And he's gotten the Knicks into the playoff race. Like, if the playoffs were to end, if the season were to end today, the Knicks would be in the playoffs. So I want to give the edge over to Julius. And, he was on my Lakers, so I show love. But I hate to say it, I probably would nod with Julius this time. I'm sorry. I don't want to make picks, but that might be my case. Like, that might be my pick. Now, on the Giannis thing, he's doing the same thing that we've seen before. But the difference is, I don't think he's usurped Bradley Beal. Even though Bradley's on the much worse team, we know it's not necessarily his fault. He's still hooping and playing well. He's not better than Joel Embiid. I'm not going to put him over Kevin Durant, Harden, Kyrie, or Tatum. Like, Kyrie's been hooping. And I think it's harder to actually stop Kyrie than it is Giannis in the playoffs. So until Giannis actually gets over that hump for me, he's not going to usurp those 5, 6 players. Not currently. I'm sorry. Maybe it's a hot take, but Giannis don't start this year. Former captain's out. Now, if we want to look at the Western reserves, we can see as follows: Luka Doncic, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, Chris Paul. And here's where it's tricky. I have De'Aaron Fox, Rudy Gobert, Zion Williamson, and Brandon Ingram. It all depends on how you view Luka. If Luka's a point guard, then guess what? Maybe De'Aaron Fox can't make it. And then you got to go either Rudy Gobert, because he's averaging almost 3 blocks a game, or Zion Williamson, because, well, the household name, and he's been pretty dominant. He's averaging 24 points a game. Or Brandon Ingram, who's throwing up 23, 5, and like 4 or something like that. Like, it's crazy. Like he's actually been producing pretty well again. And he's the better playmaker on that Pelicans team, but Zion's the better impact player right now. So, like, at least he's more dominant force. So, how do you want to go about this? Because then if you put Luka as a forward, You already have all your forward spots slotted in. You got to go De'Aaron Fox, which the Kings aren't out of the playoff race. So in fact, the Kings are higher than the Pelicans. So I'm just saying, it's a tight one for those final spots for the East and the West. So be looking forward to that. I want to hear your thoughts though on who you pick. If I had to choose, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I hate to do this because it goes against everything that I believe in. But I might put Rudy Gobert back at the All-Star list only because that 3 blocks, like, that's pretty impressive. Like, he's usually for a career at the 2 blocks per game. If you're talking about 3, which is 2.8, but I round up to 3. You're doing 3, bro? That's different. And you putting up 14 and 14 basically? I can respect that. And your team's number 1 in the West? I gotta reward you. I gotta give credit when credit's due. I gotta be fair. But if you were just doing the regular status quo, it's not an all-star to me. Like, I've seen Mitchell on Knicks do that. And Mitchell Robinson off the Knicks do that. And he's not an all-star. Sorry. So again, Jared Allen's not an all-star, but he does that. So I mean, just saying. The fact that we're at the 3-block area, it's impressive. That's the reason why I'd slot him there. But I want to hear your thoughts and concerns below. That I definitely want to hear that because I'm sure there's definitely a little bit of skepticism from you guys. So. And now I'm not gonna say that part. That was gonna be a little bit disrespectful. I'll save that take for another day. Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I gotta go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, cut.